You dress so scary. It's Halloween.
It's Halloween, everyone!
Halloween is cool.
We're gonna have a good time tonight. Or are we?
It's Halloween. We're gonna have a good time tonight.
Today's film, depending on how you look at it, was either a promise unfulfilled,
Emotional, damn it!
or a unique take on a classic horror character. Hell, to some of us, it was just a giant Michael Myers-sized slap to the face.
Oh, wow!
Using his good hand.
I better use my strong hand.
It's the story of a writer and director with plot ADHD trying to make something profound.
Yes, no!
Or perhaps just flat out bored of the sandbox that he'd been playing in since 2018.
Goodbye, Michael.
The journey includes an actress promising to anger fans,
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
bad test screening rumors, Michael Myers doing whatever the hell this is in a sewer, and the final fight ever between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. Or at least between Myers and Jamie Lee Curtis. It's a story of anticipation, confusion, and Corey mother effing Cunningham. Of spaghetti-stained milk glasses,
Boys who keep secrets don't get custard for dessert.
and a possible Halloween 3 Season of the Witch connection. This is what the happened to Halloween Ends. After the ending of Halloween Kills, it seemed obvious where the franchise was headed for its 13th installment in the finale of the David Gordon Green trilogy. Our last shot of Kills, after all, at least in the extended version, was Laurie mean-mugging her way out of the hospital on her way to avenge her daughter and half of Haddonfield's deaths. The theatrical ending of Halloween Kills even featured Michael answering the phone in dead Karen's pocket, with Laurie hearing his hot breath on the other end of the line.
I'm coming for you, Michael.
It wasn't too difficult to figure out where the story should be heading, and rumors were abound that Halloween Ends' story would take place on that very same night. But as they had done many times throughout the trilogy, David Gordon Green and co-writer Danny McBride threw a curveball instead. Halloween Ends would take place 4 years after the events of Halloween Kills. There had been ideations about where the franchise would quote-unquote end, but the constantly changing interests of writers were only exacerbated by the pandemic delaying both sequels a year.
He's waited for me. I've waited for him.
Where we landed after months and months of tinkering was with Green and McBride writing a script full of wild ideas.
Imagination.
So many ideas that they had to hire fresh-faced writers Paul Brad Logan and Chris Bernier to tame and organize them all. Paul Brad Logan would end up writing a fascinating novelization of the film that featured extra scenes, including Michael's murder of 2 city sanitation workers, as well as some much-needed depth around some of the unexplained ideas of the movie, such as what really happened between Michael and Corey in that sewer chokedown scene. While fans were gearing up for an all-out slugfest between Laurie and Michael, as well as satisfying answers to the questions asked in 2018 and Kills, Green had his heart set on a love story.
I'll see you in hell.
And to some, this was the equivalent of handing out math equations on Halloween in lieu of candy. Green also wanted to explore the idea of a secluded community member becoming a psychopathic killer.
I killed someone.
He also wanted to explore in further detail the collateral damage of the decades-long battle between Laurie and Michael on Haddonfield.
You see what he did to my sister? She cannot speak because of you.
He also wanted to tell a coming-of-age story that harkened back to John Carpenter's Carrie. And a dance scene. At this point, it became necessary to create an entirely new character to harbor all of Green and McBride's desired story themes and ideas.
You think you can fix me, but you can't. I'll spare you the heartache.
Enter Corey Cunningham.
Corey, you're a lifesaver.
While this route was clearly going to upset fans, John Carpenter praised the writers for their willingness to not rehash the same stories that had come before, and this was all the blessing they needed to move forward with their auteur vision for the white-faced horror of Haddonfield, or at least what was left of him by the time the script was finished. Important surviving characters from Kills would return, including, of course, Jamie Lee Curtis, at a clip of $3.5 million.
That makes you want to rip off your shirt and show grief your and say, you know what? Let's go.
She'd be joined by a swooning Will Patton as a sheriff who just wants to see some effing cherry blossoms.
Who knows, maybe I'll fly over for the cherry blossoms.
And the lovable Andy Matichak as Allison. Allison's character had been the true coming-of-age story to this point, forged by the fire of Michael, Laurie, and Haddonfield's craziness. But she too is on the verge of breaking, which pushes her right into the arms of Mr. I'll light the match Cunningham.
I'll light the match.
The role of Corey went to actor Rowan Campbell, who will actually be playing Billy in the upcoming Silent Night Deadly Night remake. After beating out hundreds of others who had auditioned for the role, none of which were told that it was for an upcoming Halloween film.
Just wanted it to be a fun night, and then it all went bad.
And listen, Campbell did a great job as Corey and was not at all to blame for the peculiar route that the story took.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
But if you're wondering if the production knew how things were about to go down, both Green and Curtis warned him before accepting the role that there would likely be massive fan outrage over his character. Hell, Curtis stoked the fan flames before production had even begun, telling news outlets that the film would be shocking and make people very angry. Though fans were very happy to have James Jude Courtney return to don the mask, he made things even more peculiar when he called the final fight between the two, quote-unquote, erotic.
Right.
Though she wasn't originally slated to return, Kyle Richards reprised her role as Lindsay due to fan demand after an impressive performance in Kills. And let's not forget the all-time legend Nick Castle, who both returned in a cameo as a partygoer and provided Michael's all-important breathing. After some pandemic delays and false starts, filming on Halloween Ends finally began in January of 2022 in Savannah, Georgia, under the working title Cave Dweller. Academy Award winner Christopher Nelson returned to handle the guts and gore, as well as provide some continuity to his excellent mask work in 2018 and in Kills.
I guarantee you when you walk on set, people see you and we get the shot, it's going to be worth it.
Nelson decided to add on to the ever-growing personality of Michael's mask by crafting a mask that reflected his damaged psychological state at the time. The mask's physical appearance told the tale of both Michael's battle scars and where he had been, rotting in a sewer under Haddonfield for years. Nelson always revisited the original 1978 mask as his North Star, making sure that the new iteration still connected to the original look. Say what you want about David Gordon Green's trilogy, but it's hard to find someone who will complain about Nelson's work on the franchise, whether it be his use of practical effects to create ultra-gnarly carnage, or the way he carefully managed Michael Myers' mask through 3 films. The same could be said for James Jude Courtney's makeup and costume.
Said Michael Myers.
This is Mike Myers.
It should be the Halloween mask.
This is a Halloween mask.
No, the killer dude from Halloween.
The actor let Nelson's depiction of his bodily scars and burn wounds inform his performance in both his movements and psyche. When it came to the final showdown between Michael and Laurie, James Jude Courtney and Jamie Lee Curtis were both hellbent on making the fight as emotionally cathartic as possible. Courtney did his own stunt work as usual, and Curtis insisted that they let her do as much as possible.
She took a freaking beating and so did I.
The two allegedly began weeping together as they talked through the fight scene step by step before filming. Courtney said that both he and Curtis agreed it was the most powerful scene she had ever done.
Time we feel like we might be pushing her too hard, she'd just be like, no, let's do this.
Someone's never seen the dance scene from True Lies. Courtney also called the scene a violent emotional release. And yeah, for some reason he called it erotic.
What did he say?
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
The fight scene went through a lot of effort and changes, not unlike the ending of the film as a whole. Halloween Ends finished filming in March of 2022, with 4 days of reshoots to be completed a month later. Then it was time for test screenings, which had become a thing of lore in David Gordon Green's trilogy over the years. Each of the 2 movies to this point had endings changed by test screenings, and Ends would be no different. Rumors from those screenings spread like wildfire through the Halloween community, much of it misinformation from attention-thirsty social media accounts, though some of it would turn out to be true.
Psych!
David Gordon Green explained that after test screenings, they added the entire funeral procession, where Michael is turned into Hamburger Helper in front of the entire town. They did so because they and the test audiences themselves felt the original, more intimate ending lacked a grand finale. This was filmed just 4 months before the film's premiere. Then there was the constant back and forth about what to do with our characters after Michael was quote-unquote dead. The ending of Ends wasn't always cherry blossoms and memoirs. Different ideations of the film and possible endings included Laurie dying in the final fight or becoming infected with Michael's curse. In one, her eyes became dark as Michael was incinerated. She would later attack Allison and slam the door on the audience, essentially becoming Michael herself to close out the trilogy. Other possible endings also featured different fates for both Corey and Allison. One of my favorites is Christopher Nelson's description of an ending that featured a Halloween 3 Season of the Witch tie-in that would show a Silver Shamrock factory mass-producing Michael Myers masks. He also mentioned that the masks seen throughout the film, including the Scarecrow mask donned by Corey, were to be official Silver Shamrock masks. This ending would have been insanely out there and probably kind of rad, but it may not have played well with those uninitiated in Season of the Witch lore, which, by the way, is why the font in the credits is italicized and blue. It's a callback to the 3rd film in the Halloween franchise, one that featured even less Michael Myers than Ends does. Much less. John Carpenter returned with, of course, another banger of a score alongside his son Cody Carpenter and Daniel Davies.
I thought it would be perfect for the movie.
There's also original music from the group Boy Harsher that fits the tone of Ends with ease. What didn't go over with ease was David Gordon Green's interpretation of how to finish off the Halloween franchise in the eyes of fans who had been anticipating it for years. When Halloween Ends debuted in October of 2022, it was met at the door with frustration and bewilderment. Instead of a straightforward ending to the story of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, again, for now, fans were treated to a love story, a goofy subplot about an unruly child going splat on Halloween, and a kid who was bullied by band geeks now tag teaming with Michael Myers, who, by the way, was in a cave for half of the movie and was only brought to life by awkwardly gyrating as he stabbed a guy. And let's not forget that we were forced to watch Michael take a one-on-one ass beating from a teenager. Some respected the wild swings and the weirdness of it all, but most were more pissed off than the iron-wielding lady from Halloween Kills. And critics were no different. The film sits with a 40% and 57% rotten score on Rotten Tomatoes and features a litany of complaints about the confusing choices made in the film. Halloween Ends would garner a worldwide theatrical haul of $105 million on a $33 million budget. Not bad for a film that released day and date on the streaming app Peacock. The company also reported that the film had made a massive dent there, becoming the most streamed content over a 2-day period ever on the app. This did, however, attribute to a near record 88% dip for the film in week 2 at the theaters. I'm sure the quality of the film didn't help. If you're wondering if Halloween Ends and all of its controversy was truly the end of Michael, I can assure you it was not. Just the end of Blumhouse playing in the Shaped sandbox. No, it was made very clear to many people by the late longtime Hollywood producer Mustafa Akkad that Michael was never to be officially killed off. You could stop him for a while, but you can never kill him. Though we don't know exactly what the future holds for the white-faced jerk, there was recently a bidding war for the TV rights to the franchise won by Miramax, who's said to be developing a Halloween series that again promises to be a creative reset that harkens back to the original film. So it's safe to say that Michael Myers will return. We just don't know when, other than in video game form next September. And that, my friends, is what the fuck happened to Halloween Ends.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.